Nations International number 2 over in Group A, putting their 100% record on the bloody line. Who's going to come out on top? Ecuador or the Dutch? We're going to get into it next. That's right, folks. Bama's game with another 5-minute preview. Looking forward to the next match over in Group A. That's right, it is Ecuador. It is Holland, of course, aka the Netherlands, who, of course, will come out on top. We'll take a look in a second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe and bounty. All things Ecuador related, the Netherlands related, World Cup related. We're going to all hear, boys, under one Ruski. Of course, both sides 100% so far, but no, they won't be at the end of it, of course. They could actually both lose their 100% record with, of course, a draw this week. We'll take a look at all of it, of course, in a second. People shout to the VIPs. They are the patrons, but anyway, let's get into it. Of course, now look. And of course, this one coming at you at the Mia Khalifa Stadium. That's right. It's the Netherlands. It is Ecuador. It's on the 25th of November 2022. That's right. These two sides, so far so good for them. We remind ourselves, of course, the Dutchies, how they got to this World Cup. They qualified as Group G winners over the UEFA qualifying phase back on the 16th of November 2021. It's the 11th World Cup. Of course, 2014 was the last. They've been runners-up in 74, 78 and 2010. Louis van Gaal is your manager. VVD is, of course, the main man for me. 8-1 on to qualify. They were at the start of the World Cup, of course, and they are 12-1 to lift a trophy at the end of this one. Of course, take a look then, shall we? Of course, at what the journey has been so far, or actually prior to the World Cup. Big 1-0 win over Belgium. Of course, big wins over Poland and the Welsh to give themselves great preparation, but they did open up their campaign with that 2-0 win. A late win over Senegal, of course, in Group A, of course. But they're top of Group A right now, and of course, we'll look forward to take on Ecuador, of course, in the World Cup as well. Speaking of course, Ecuador, well, we're going to take a look at the squad here now, of course, for the Dutchies. Of course, we've got Andries Noppert, of course, competing to be number one. He isn't the number one at the moment. Timber, of course, VVD is in there in the mixer. Of course, moving to Frankie de Jong, Xavi Simons, the youngster. Of course, he's in the mixer. And, of course, up top, we've got Memphis Depay. That's right, of course, hoping to compete with the big boys as well. Let's take a little look then, shall we? Of course, my starting 11 then for this game. We've got Noppert, Ake, Van Dijk, De Ligt, of course. Then we have De Jong, Bergwijn, Gakpo. We have Blind. And then we have Dumfries on the right-hand side, Bergwijn and Depay up top. Can they be good enough to beat the Ecuador as well? Let's take a little look at them, shall we? Of course, Ecuador coming at you, of course, qualified as 4th place. That's right, 4th place over in the Co-MBL, behind Argentina, behind Brazil, of course. And who else was in 3rd spot? It was Uruguay, of course. So not too shabby there. Of course, the 4th tournament in the past. 2014 was the last. Round of 16 was their best battles back in 2006, of course, over in Germany. Gustavo Alvaro, of course, is your manager. Erner Valencia, key man. He's already got a couple of goals to his name. Can he add to that tally against the Dutch? Even Stevens, of course, for them to qualify at the start of the World Cup. 151 to go the distance as well, of course. Let's take a little look then, shall we, of course, at what else we got going on here. Bish Bash Bosh, the recent run of events for Ecuador did draw with against Japan. That was pre-World Cup. Also drawing against Saudi Arabia as well. They've been clean sheet FC so far. Of course, the last goal they conceded was against Argentina in the World Cup qualifying phase way back in March 2022. They did open up their account with a 2-0 win up against Qatar, the host nation, put themselves in comfortable spot in 2nd spot. A draw or more will do absolutely bananas for Ecuador as they look forward to finishing their run of events against Senegal, of course, which could be a pretty much home and hose for them. So right ourselves, of course, of the Ecuadorian team then, of course, Dominguez, Galindez and Ramirez all compete for the number 1 jersey. And of course, at the back there, we've got Pierre Nkape, of course, on the books of Leverkusen. We have Pervis Esteban, of course, coming at you on their books at Brighton. That's right. Into midfield, of course, you've got the double pivot with Moses Caicedo, one of those. Gonzalo Plata, of course, well out wide on the wing. And, of course, up top, we've got Erner Valencia. He's got a couple of goals to his name already. Will he, of course, add to that with the Dutch? We'll see about that then. Kicking off forward, of course, this is my team then, going over the 4-4-2 with Galindez, of course, between sticks, Esteban, Nkape, Torres and Presedo. Then we have Ibarra, Caicedo, Mendes with a double pivot there. Of course, Plata as well. Estrada and Valencia up top. Pretty much as you would expect then. Of course, taking a look at the team then, shall we? Of course, they played each other twice since 2006. One with the Dutch, another with Ecuador, of course, a 1 draw as well. The Dutch come into this unbeaten in the last 16 games, of course, 92% for them over the last 6. That's winning 5, of course, just drawing once. As for Ecuador, unbeaten in the last 8, of course, picking up a couple of wins and 4 draws. The last time they played each other was way back in May 2014. It was a big 1-1 draw it was, with the Dutch last winning back in March 2016. I did put a vote out there, and the vote goes like this. The Dutch are 83% favourite to win this game. Ecuador, of course, 10% with the draw at 7%. The bookies odds right here, right now, as of course we look forward to this game. 5-4 on is your Netherlands, of course, 12-5 is the draw. 4-1 is your away win. that is, of course, Ecuador. But for me, I'm going with a bit of a shock here, perhaps. I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw. That's right. Back in the upset potentially. Of course, leaving it wide open, maybe for Senegal to come in and sneak it on, of course, the final day. That's, of course, my take on it. Be sure to get your own take on it, as I look forward to seeing you come back around for this game and match number 3. But until then, guys and girls, I'll see you soon for the next.